Welcome to the Newtown Big Dreams podcast, an interview-style talk show that's your gateway to the fabulous and fascinating people who relocated to start a new life. Whether you're new to our podcast or your city, our fellow neighbors from across Canada, North America, and the entire English-speaking world share their stories of reaching new horizons and big dreams. So sit back and relax as we navigate in-depth and intimate conversations with entrepreneurs, thought leaders, executives, creatives, and anyone who can share their story about their Newtown big dreams. And now, here's your host, Luke J. Menkes.
Sarah, it's great to see you today. It's been, 10 days since I last saw you. We were at the Storytellers Night with Balanced Wellbeing, and that's always a fun night. And your mom was speaking there too. You're very new to Kelowna. You came in August 2018.
Yes.
So tell us the story of how you got to Kelowna.
How I got to Kelowna? Well, I've always been looking for a change. I've lived in Victoria for 12 years on Vancouver Island, and just doors seemed to open for me to have the opportunity to move. So I actually lived in Alberta in a teeny little town for 3 months in the summer of last year before I came here.
Which town? I'm wondering if I know it.
Have you heard of Claresholm?
No.
Oh man, it's a one street light town, basically.
Right.
Really small, really tiny, really hick. Like 2 restaurants in the town. And
So what's a larger town that we could relate it to?
We could relate to
It's
it's in between Calgary and in between Lethbridge. So
okay.
yes.
So south of Calgary.
Yeah.
And it's called Claresholm.
Claresholm. Yeah, Claresholm.
So someone named Claire lives there?
Probably, I don't know. Probably. It's a really old town, actually. It's really booming in the 1950s. And then after the 1950s, it actually became dead. So it's really interesting because it's like a ghost town there. It is a ghost town. I was like, where is everyone? What is this place?
And do you know what was there in the 50s that made it booming? Was it a mining town? Or?
I think so, yeah. I think so, yeah.
So just backing up a little, how did you end up in Claresholm?
My dad is in Claresholm. It's actually funny. My dad was raised in Claresholm, and so was my grandma raised in Claresholm. So it's kind of going to my old roots of where I had no idea that they came from this really tiny town in the middle of nowhere.
And where were you from originally?
I was from Alberta originally. So I lived half my life in Alberta, half my life in BC.
Okay.
But from a town called Bonnyville. Have you heard of it?
Yeah. Okay. That's closer to Edmonton, I think, right? Yeah. Bonnyville.
Yes, and that was a town of 5,000. So, right. And that was still really small compared to, Victoria. It's much bigger.
Yes.
Kelowna, a little smaller.
And you spent 12 years in Victoria.
Yes.
And how did you go from Alberta to Victoria?
Well, I went from Alberta to Victoria. So in 2002, my mom and dad left Bonnyville, and we moved to Duncan, and Duncan was heaven compared to Bonnyville.
Okay.
It was so beautiful, and there's just so many more things to do, and the weather was so amazing. It wasn't minus 50 degrees.
Now, Duncan is on the island?
It is on the island, yes. And everyone makes fun of Duncan and says Duncan is not the greatest place to be, but I think it's really beautiful there, and we really enjoyed our time being there. And, at Christmas, there's roses in the garden. That never happens. I don't think we ever had green grass, where I grew up, so.
Now, the last time I spent any time in Victoria was like over 20 years ago.
Oh, wow.
And it was, if I recall correctly, it was kind of a sleepy, smaller town. And now it's huge.
Now it's huge. Now it's very busy. Now there's buskers everywhere. There's always something going on.
In 12 years you were there, did you see a huge change? Or was it kind of already
a huge change
large
in traffic.
Yeah.
For sure. A huge change in developments and everything downtown. And, I did this shopping tour company, so I was able to see a huge change in the retail, where the retail was shifting to outskirts of downtown Victoria, just because downtown Victoria is very high rent, and, now there's no more parking downtown because they moved the parking for bike lanes, and so it's just really interesting. Yeah.
And you decided last summer to come to Kelowna, so what happened?
Well, it is such a funny story. I was looking actually at Calgary, and thinking of moving to Calgary because I always wanted to live in Calgary. And then I was looking at Toronto, and Toronto is a very big city. Calgary and Toronto are bigger cities compared to Victoria. So I just wanted to try a bigger city. So I did look at places in Calgary, and nothing was working out. And so I contacted the one friend I know here, and you've interviewed him before. Grant Biggs of Kitsch Wines.
Yes.
Yeah, so he's the only friend that I knew here.
And how did you know Grant?
Grant and I dated 12 years ago.
No way.
Yeah, long time ago.
And you stayed in touch.
And we stayed in touch, yeah. And then I said, hey, listen, I'm thinking about moving to Kelowna because, you know, I really like the tourism industry and I like the culture here. I like the patios and the cute little coffee shops. And in Calgary, there is that only on two streets, the 14th Street and the 17th Street. Or, you know, and then there's the rest of big buildings. I like when I can walk anywhere and there's cute little coffee shops, retail stores, restaurants. So I thought that maybe this would be a good idea to come here. And I looked at the market. It's just like Victoria. It's really hard to get into rental market here. It's crazy competitive, especially during the summer, which was when I came. And so I asked him, do you know anyone? And he said, yes, he did. So he knew this girl that he also dated, actually. It's a really funny story. But yeah. And so then we ended up Skyping, and then within 10 hours, I gave her the deposit, and here I am moving to Kelowna. So it wasn't, Or it's funny because Calgary took me 2 to 3 weeks to try and find a place, and then within 10 hours, I'm going to Kelowna. Yeah. So doors opened wide there.
That's awesome. Well, it's always a good sign when things happen smoothly, and it's great to know someone. Yeah. You know, when I came here, I knew my ex and my daughter, who was, I think, 7 years old at the time, and that was it. Oh, wow. So, but it worked out for me too. 7.5 years.
7.5. That's amazing.
Yeah. And your mom lives here.
Yes, she's here temporarily. So she came to visit me in October. Okay. And so
you came first.
I came first. Right. Yep.
I just assumed that she was here and then you.
Yeah. No.
But no, you came first, and then she came to stay with you for a while.
Yeah. Yes. And she came and stayed with me for a bit, and she may or may not be coming back next year. But I will be back for sure. I feel like Kelowna would be a good home base. I have lots of family in Vancouver and lots of family in Calgary. Okay. So it's in between both places. So.
Okay. So tell us what you do for work that enables you to go back and forth.
That's true. I am a digital marketer. So I do social media marketing and content marketing and all that fun stuff online.
Awesome. Well, I think you've heard a few episodes, so yes. What I want to do is pick your brain about social media marketing.
Sounds good.
Because I'm selfishly trying to learn for myself, and I know the topics are really interesting to a lot of our listeners too. Yes. So tell us what makes a good social media page. How do you, there's so much content. Yeah. And I've heard people say, like sociologists and psychologists, especially for young people, like some people are spending a little too much time on social media. So how do you separate yourself? How do you get eyeballs to your page when there's so much content?
When there's so much content, I know there is so much, and you can go through a black hole of trying to find content as well to like trying to attract your market. But what you need to do is you need to see what your competitors are doing, whoever is your competitor, your indirect and direct competitors. Yeah. Then you need to go and follow their followers who are your potential target market, right? You need to figure out what language your target market is using and what posts they're using and what shares they're resharing. You need to, in your profile or in your account, speak the language of your target market. Right. Basically. And you need to cater to them emotionally. So when I do digital marketing for any of my clients, it's, we have to affect them emotionally. That's always my goal, is to have them comment or to want to share or to take action on it. And then sometimes there's a thing called social media crisis, where there are some people who are trolls, and they will go and just share a really bad review or say really mean things. But you are able to respond on that. By the way, if anyone gives a bad review and you've never dealt with them before and it is just a troll, you can delete that. Google will delete it, and Facebook will also delete it. Nice. So
I didn't know Google would delete it. And I didn't know Facebook would either. Yeah. So you're saying if someone gives a bad review on your page,
as long as you respond to it. So this person with a chiropractic company that I worked with here, he gave a really bad review. And so right away you need to go and inspect that, basically investigate is he a client of yours? No, he's never been. Okay. So why would he give this horrible review,
Mm-hmm.
And then you have to go and respond to that person, but you have to reaffirm all your values and everything. It's also good SEO to reply to all your reviews because it gets you up there and, it makes you look good and makes it look like you really care about your customers and that you're proactive also.
Yeah.
So there's all these benefits from that. But so you just respond to them and say, listen, I see that you have written this review. We would really like to understand. We're sorry for your experience with so-and-so or whatever, but please help us understand. And then you go and message them privately on top of that. So you need to take 2 actions.
I see.
So then you go and message the person. And then what it came down to was this person, I guess, this company that I was working with posted an article in 2015 about vaccinations, and they didn't say that they were against them, and they didn't say to not take the vaccinations. It just wasn't.
It was like an informative.
It was just an opinion.
Yeah.
It was just an opinion.
Yeah.
And this person got upset over a 2015 article, I guess, that ended up in the news in 2018 in the summer or something.
Mm-hmm.
And so he went and wrote that review. But then Facebook sees that I took action. I tried to resolve it through Messenger, and make him change his mind. But you can't change people's opinions.
Right.
There's never, and that's it. He never had an experience at this company, but it's just his opinion.
Yeah.
And he's going to stick to it, and that's that. But then Facebook, saw that we took action, so then it deleted it. Google will do the same.
Do you find that that's fairly common?
It is.
I mean, there's a whole world. It's a whole universe, right? And I know there are people, if you have any kind of psychological issues, people will create anonymous accounts and lash out because they got a lot of pent-up anger.
Yeah.
Is it pretty common that people post negative reviews when they've actually not had a legitimate experience with that company?
Yes.
It is.
You call them trolls.
Yeah.
They do go around and give you bad reviews, even though they've never heard of your company or nothing like that. And it's really hard and disheartening too, because you put your heart and soul into your company. You're like, who is this person?
Yeah.
Why would they write a bad review? I've never seen them or heard them. They're not a client of mine. Why would they do such a thing?
Mm-hmm. Now, it is possible to get a bad review based on someone who had an experience with you.
Absolutely. And those you can't change.
Mm-hmm.
Those you can't change. But here's the thing. Usually the ones that had a bad experience with you will respond to your comment below.
Mm-hmm.
But if they don't, it could be possible that their review will be deleted and marked as spam.
I see.
So,
and that can be disheartening too. So what do you advise your clients if, maybe someone at the counter was having a bad day and, people tend to blow things out of proportion, but you could have handled it better. And it's still really disheartening because this person is just blowing their top over something that was maybe a minor incident, and they're making it into this huge thing. And the comment's going to stay like, what do you advise your clients when you... Because we tend to focus on that one. Mm-hmm. We might have like 20 great reviews and we get this one and it sticks in our head. And I toss and turn at night and I'm like, oh, this is so upsetting. And
it is so upsetting.
How do you get past it?
Well, you remove the emotion from it and remind yourself to not take it personal. It's nothing personal. That's how I feel when I do, work for companies and then they have a bad review and I'm like, oh, how dare you, how is this happening, but then it's like, remove the emotion from it, take a breather from it, but you do need to respond timely within 2 hours. So in the best way that you can, remove the emotion from it, remove the personal point of it, and then just see from their perspective and just see what's the best way that you can solve this,
Yeah. It's interesting. I think Twitter is probably the worst. I spend a lot of time on Twitter.
Awesome.
And they let people have anonymous accounts or with strange names that aren't human names. And so I think that gives kind of cover for people to just go kind of crazy. Mm-hmm. And I see a lot of corporate ads where people are just trolling the hell out of it. And it's like, geez, I don't know if I would advertise on Twitter.
Yeah.
Facebook, you're supposed to have a verified account with a real name. Mm-hmm. Your account can be deleted if you're not a real person. But Twitter, I don't know. Do you do many Twitter ads?
I don't do Twitter ads. I have actually never done Facebook. I've never done advertising before.
Okay.
I am able, though, to get leads through content marketing.
Okay.
Because I'm able to appeal to exactly... I write so that people...
So you write content?
Content, yes.
Okay.
And create graphics and just... Yeah, I write and post whatever I can with intention that they're going to be saying to themselves, wow, it's like she wrote this or this company wrote this just for me. How do they know that this is what I'm going through right now in my life? Mm-hmm. That's what I try to...
Is it primarily Facebook that you're working with or
Facebook,
Instagram?
LinkedIn, Twitter, Pinterest I can do, but Pinterest isn't really so emotional. It's more visual and more tips and inspiration and everything like that.
Yeah.
So.
Well, tell us what makes a good emotional Instagram ad. Is it photographs? Is it videos? Stories. Story.
Definitely. And a story that can connect with the audience. Mm-hmm. Like you see all these accounts and they're very selling. And there's nothing wrong with selling. You're supposed to sell. Mm-hmm. If you don't sell, you're doing the world a disservice by not sharing your gifts, right?
Right.
But if it's all about, you go to some accounts and you can tell that it's all about just that company. It's not about anyone else, but just about them. Why am I there?
Right.
What's in it for me?
Yeah.
When I go to your account,
unless you're specifically looking for a specific product, you're probably not going to.
Exactly. And that's the thing, is like back in the day, in the 1990s, we used to go shopping to localize, just to go pick up what we wanted to pick up. Mm-hmm. We weren't trying to look for the experience. We weren't trying to be inspired. We weren't trying to, imagine the future of what it will be like to have this product in our lives. Mm-hmm. Shopping is so much more complicated now. Yeah. So, and then we have all these options. We have these huge brands, and then we have these really unique, Etsy brands, that just popped up. So why would I go to the corporate brand company? Why not go to this unique one?
Right.
There's
so it's a story. Mm-hmm. Could you give us an example? And it could be a hypothetical if you don't want to reveal something, but give us an example of I'm scrolling through Instagram and we just, tend to mindlessly flick through sometimes, but something catches our eye. So what would be an example?
We'll say okay, maybe, because I did kitchens, kitchen cabinets and stuff like that. And I did a startup company, and with social media marketing, we were able to go to $40,000 a month just through social media marketing. And those are just social leads. That's not leads from other places. Mm-hmm. But if you have a client, say on Instagram or on Facebook, looking up kitchen cabinets and looking up for inspiration and everything like that.
Right. So they want to see photos of kitchens. Yes,
they want to see photos. They want to see before and afters and, but if you're able to ask them a question or something that, listen, kitchen renovations are stressful. Yeah. Take it one day at a time. You're going to make it through, something like that, because they are really stressful. I mean, some of our clients in the past, would call me up and they're like, I'm on the verge of divorce through this renovation. I'm like, oh my goodness, kitchens are so much more than just a renovation. Yeah. It's so emotional. It's so much turmoil. You're going through so many transitions, in the relationship and then the next level of your house.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially if your family life is so connected to the kitchen. It's disrupted.
It is the number one.
So it might be a family personal story of what they went through and how they got through it and how beautiful it is at the end. Yes. That sort of a thing.
Oh, yes, definitely. Because she did make it in the end. I mean, there's a few times where she did call me just crying. And I was like, she just needs someone to listen to her right now. And that's it. But then, in those situations, you can write about it and say, listen, you can take, it's going to be okay. Yeah. Everything's going to be fine. And we're here for you. So if you need anything, we totally get it. Right. Kitchen renovations are stressful. You can be on the verge of divorce through these, and it's just getting real raw because no one else says that.
Right. That's awesome.
Home Depot doesn't say that.
Right. Yeah. They're just here's the product.
Here's the product. There you go. Mm-hmm.
And it's always portrayed as, look at the happy family enjoying their amazing kitchen. Not the dust and stepping on nails and people not showing up.
And then having to do your dishes in the bathroom and,
Yeah.
Yeah. Ugh.
And how does that story convert into a lead? So someone's saying, oh, geez, that's an interesting story. I want to kind of follow this.
Yes.
How does that convert into a lead and how does that convert into someone buying cabinets?
It connects with them emotionally.
Right.
So I've been able to understand you emotionally. It's really strange. Yes. So the fact that I've been able to understand you emotionally, now they're going to feel like I get them.
Right.
They're going to want to come to me because now they can trust that I already understand what they're going through. I'm not going to screw you over because this is not a fun job, you know, and not a fun thing it's amazing at the end of it all, but it is so painful. Yeah. And there's so many delays in construction and
waiting for parts.
You know, these parts, so much goes wrong during that. But as long as you let them know that, hey, we're here for you. We care about you. We're going to get through this together. Yeah. Anything you need, we're going to make it to the other side. And you're going to love your kitchen.
So you make that emotional connection, and then what happens? They start to follow.
Then they start to follow you. Yes. So usually I get them through email strategy. Email marketing is gold. I highly recommend it. Email marketing is not dead. That is so say if Facebook shuts down, you lost all your money. You lost all your business. But if you have an email list, that's yours to keep. No one can take that away from you. Right. So that's your biggest asset right there.
And then the email would be like monthly, monthly tips. And
so we put out there a free PDF, a checklist to go buy kitchen cabinets, whether you bought kitchen cabinets with us or not. So there's so many people like that would say, oh, I went and bought, at Home Depot, they told me it was real wood, but it was actually particle board. I didn't want particle board, but I already paid for it. And, you can't go back on that. And so now they have this like what they didn't want, but they got somehow slide into, you know what I mean? Somehow manipulated into believing. Some people just don't know. Right. Some people really don't know. When I first started out in the industry, I had no idea what was the difference between particle board or hardwood or dovetail drawers and all this stuff. Right. So say if I was to go shopping, and most, a lot of ladies still go shopping, and we still make the decisions about the kitchen, so if we don't know what we're buying, and then we get it installed and then we don't like it, we just drop $50,000 on something that we don't love.
And disrupted your life for a couple of months.
Completely. And so much stress. So what I did was just I first validated the idea, and I went online and forums and stuff and asked, how would you guys like if, someone put a checklist together of what to buy, what questions to ask for a salesperson so they don't, manipulate you or lead you astray from what you really want. And then, so I had a whole bunch of people sign up from that. And whether they buy with us or not, at least we're helping them get what they want. Right. But through that, I had 23 people on the wait list. And through that, they just were like, no, we're waiting for you. Right. They're like, thank you so much. And they did go shop around. Very nice. But they wanted us in the end. So that's cool.
So that's a great example of a product and a service, because the install is a service of the product. Yes. So there's all these things, like you mentioned, scheduling and logistics and the materials used and the way it's going to look and the functionality. So it's a really involved process, but exciting in the end when it gets done. Yes. Have you done much work with media companies? So, for example, I have a podcast and I would love to grow the listenership. So to attract people, it's a different thing, right? Nobody's ripping out cabinets to listen to my show. You might be on a treadmill. You might be going for a walk. If you're, I have some traveling salespeople that are in their cars constantly, and they're always looking for the next episode because they love it. So if I was advertising on Instagram, now I do, I don't know if you've seen it, but I do a nice meme. So with the headshot you sent me, I'm going to take my favorite quote of yours. Cool. And put it on there, make a meme out of it, and then I put a bunch of hashtags. But if I was going to actually do paid ads, can you think of some strategies how I could grow my audience and have people go, hey, maybe I'll check that out and listen to an episode or two and hopefully be hooked? What would you do?
Definitely. Well,
very different than kitchen cabinets, right?
Very different than kitchen cabinets. I would just look at the local people in Kelowna and just look at the hashtags that they're using. So you'd go and see what people love about Kelowna and everything like that. Yeah. And then maybe I would go and post and share a story about something that you love about Kelowna, but you've already researched that so many other people said that and that they love about Kelowna as well, that they're like, oh my God, I just said this the other day, and then they go and follow and like and
and to me, it's what I love about the show is the personal stories, right? So we're talking about your business, but I love the story of how you you came here and it was like just one person you knew.
One person, yeah.
And everything kind of went smoothly and stuff like that. But your business is fascinating. So to me, it's really the personal story.
Yeah.
And that's why it kind of clicked in my head when you said, well, kitchen cabinets, there's a human story with it.
Very human
It's not
story.
just the color scheme and where you're going to put the dishwasher, but there's, it's a very human story. And the kitchen is central to our lives for most of us, right? So I really want to find a way to highlight the human stories that we're covering on this show.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would say that like when you put an ad together that you really tell a story that would emotionally affect someone. Aim for an emotional effect.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whether it's positive or negative, the thing, if you don't get any emotional response, then you're affecting no one.
Right.
It's better to affect someone, whether it be negative or positive,
right.
it is to not affect anyone.
Is there a difference between negative or positive? Like if we assume we've got an emotional reaction, should it not always be positive?
You want it to be positive, but I mean, you look at like Gary Vee or Gary Vaynerchuk, he doesn't have all positive responses, and there's a lot of negative in there too. But the negative drives more conversation.
Right.
And then the positive people come in, and then you have like this like community or these tribes of people, sharing their opinion. That's the thing though, is like these days we don't really share our opinions anymore. We don't really comment anymore like we used to.
Right.
So you just want to drive a conversation, whether it be negative or positive. But some really great things can come out of it. Yeah, the negative ones, I mean, they're not fun to read. I've had some negative ones in my past and stuff, but it's just interesting because it's like, I hit a nerve in that post, and this is cool because I'm affecting someone emotionally enough for them to take time out of their day, think about what they said, and then write it down and comment on it.
Interesting. And I think I personally like negative stories when there is a solution at the end.
Yes.
So you talked about like the mental trauma of going through renovation, but we are here for you. We're going to hold your hand all the way through. And in the end, it's going to be an amazing, beautiful thing. So to me, I don't mind negative stories when there's a happy ending.
A happy ending, right? Exactly. And hopefully
this was horrible, but
exactly.
But at the other end, look at this amazing kitchen. And look at the service that they got from the company, helping them through all the stress,
Yeah.
So to me, it's a little more than
you don't
just, don't do this because it's going to be so horrible.
Yeah. You don't aim for like the negative comments and stuff, but you aim to affect people. Just get an emotional response.
Provoke a response.
Provoke a response. That's what you want from them.
Interesting. Yeah. Well, I'll have to ponder that a little bit and try to make it a little more spicy, the posting. So, now tell us about Locelle. Did I pronounce that correctly?
Oh, Locelle.
Locelle.
Okay, Locelle. I am a brand ambassador for Locelle. It is a friend of mine in Victoria who started it up. So she, as women and men and women basically, but it's a women's app. She got pregnant, had her babies, her career shifted, and, she wanted to hang out with her old friends, but their interests changed. She says, well, now as a career woman and a mom of 2 full time, how do I go out and meet other like-minded women when my girlfriends, are no longer interested in the same things that I am in? Right. So she decided to create this app called Locelle to go and meet other like-minded women in her community. So it's kind of like a Bumble BFF thing or a Shaper thing, but it's just catered to women specifically so that women can go and meet other like-minded women and network. And so here in Kelowna, I'm a brand ambassador and I have signed up 20 people so far. And they have been meeting other like-minded women on there. So that's really good. Yeah.
So it's an app to connect women. And what is a brand ambassador for people who don't know?
A brand ambassador, meaning I represent Locelle. I promote Locelle as well. And I just, everywhere I go and when I network, because I am brand new to Kelowna. And so how am I going to go meet new people? Well, the more people I can get on that app, the more my friends or these new people that I connected with can get other people on. Well, then that's more chances for me now to meet more people that, might be a great connection. So just signing people up and meeting wonderful connections here in Kelowna.
Right. So you like home improvement clients and we talked a lot about kitchens. What is it in your past that got you into marketing and social media marketing, and in particular, the niche of home improvement? How did you get here?
I know, it's crazy. Well, I've been social media marketing since 2010.
Wow.
Which is a long time.
Yeah.
Only this whole digital marketing thing is quite new.
Yeah.
Social media managers, social media marketers, probably new within the last 4 years.
Yeah.
Definitely 8 years.
There's kind of a handful of people.
Exist.
In 2010, there was like a handful of people.
Yes, that's
really
when
doing it
Facebook
as a business.
pages came out and stuff. So for my friends, they used to bring in like huge DJs, so like Avicii, Stevie Aoki, Tiesto, and all that. And then they would always ask me, and I was able to sell out their events all the time. But I got to go to all these events for free because I made them lots of money. But I never thought about making money off of it. I just got to go to all these events with my friends for free.
Right. So help us promote the events.
Yeah. And then you can take 15 of your friends and you can all go for free and you can have open bar. You can have whatever you want, But I mean, one friend, I made him $10,000 in 3 days for his yacht party. So it's just crazy. But then I was like, oh my goodness, maybe I should charge for this.
Right.
But then it was like, wasn't into that anymore. So I got out of that.
Right.
But then I did shopping tours, and then that's how I was able to attract all my clients, was all through social media marketing, which was interesting. And
so shopping tour, what's
shopping
that?
Tours. Well, I take women from visiting from wherever, the U.S., Texas was usually where it was, and they came to Victoria, and they would pay a certain amount to go get picked up in a limo.
So they would fly from Texas to Victoria.
To go shopping.
Wow.
And they'd pay like $175 just to go shopping for the day. And they spent so much money, and I remember one of the tours I took, one woman bought every single belt in the store. She cleared it out, and I was like, I'm so sorry, you're going to short of her stock.
Did you have champagne in this limo?
I did have champagne. So we had champagne. We started off with champagne and Frank Sinatra, just wanted to set the scene, for kind of New York style, or just this extremely amazing experience. And then we went to 4 to 5 boutiques, and each boutique would close the store for the group in that time. So just for 30 minutes during the day, even though they're open to everyone else, they'd close it. And so that was really nice of them.
Sounds like a lot of fun.
Oh my God.
And did the women from Texas know each other?
Yes, they did. Yes,
so
they did.
You're marketing this on Facebook in Texas, specific targeting. Why Texas?
So my target market were sales managers of hotels.
Okay.
And then also conference planners. So a lot of conference planners have their assistants who do their marketing for them. But conference planners or event coordinators are always looking for new tours to add to their clients. And so it's a commission industry in the tourism industry.
I see.
You scratch my back, I scratch yours.
Right.
I give a certain discount off my products so that you can make money and then charge them additionally. And vice versa. So.
I see. Oh, so these were purchasers. They were shopping.
Yes.
They were just Ford housewives.
Yes. So my target wasn't actually the direct to consumer. My target market was the sales coordinators of hotels, or the event coordinators, and the conference directors, and all that stuff, which was amazing because they already had a group of 400 people. And they're like, hey, I have possible 60 ladies who want to go to tour, in July. And I was like, oh my God, can you make it happen? And I'm like, I will do whatever it takes to make it happen.
That sounds like a lot of fun. Are you going to do anything similar for Kelowna?
I thought about it. You guys have a lot of really amazing boutiques here, a lot of really cool thrift and consignment stores here. It's amazing. Yeah. And I haven't even got really into it. I'm mostly downtown, and there's so many other areas here in Kelowna that is just brilliant. But I'm not sure.
And people, wineries, of course, there's a lot of people doing wine tours.
Yes.
And they get marketed various ways. But one thing I haven't seen, which I would love to see, is we've got a really great bunch of independently owned restaurants.
Yes. Yeah, you do.
You'd have a foodie tour, restaurant tour. Because we have the big chains, of course, but there's also small independent restaurants where they have 1 or 2 locations, and they're in the Okanagan. And when people come from out of town, they're like, oh, that was amazing. So for someone to organize a tour, I think that would be pretty cool.
That would be awesome. My friends in Victoria and Vancouver, they have this company called Off the Eaten Track, which is amazing. Maybe I should tell them, get over here. Yeah. They have already the systems in place. Get over here, come to Kelowna.
Wonderful.
Put this together.
Anything we can do to bring money spending humans to the city is good for all of us, right?
Exactly.
So, but how did you get into you mentioned in your bio that you like the home improvement.
Home improvement,
niche,
yes, definitely. So how I got into there actually was I got into a relationship with a man who was a contractor. And I ended up doing all of his marketing for his renovation company.
Cool.
And then in 2016, we were going to import cabinets for a high-rise in Victoria. And
import from the States?
From China. That's actually where we imported all our cabinets. From China. China has a really amazing quality and a really great price, but there's a new tariff now on as of October 2018 or in the fall. Because there's so many companies, so many individuals importing cabinets right now from China that it's such high demand that now they can raise the prices. So it's no longer, I'm not sure. It's good for local cabinet makers because now, they're more competitive with now the importers in pricing. So,
yeah, interesting. Yeah, I know. Yeah. I follow politics quite a bit. And I know the new USMCA hasn't been ratified yet, but it's going to basically, like Canada was kind of a back channel. So the United States has some tariffs on Chinese goods. But because of the free trade agreement, Canadian distributors would import from China and then sell into the States, and it would be tax-free because it was covered under the free trade agreement, NAFTA. But they're trying to close those loopholes now. Yeah. So you have to actually manufacture the thing in Canada to be able to get the tax-free status in the States.
Wow.
So that's probably part of what's happening.
It's probably a good thing for local companies.
It is,
it really knocks, we were able to import our cabinets from China, amazing quality, at a very low price. Yeah.
So you were helping your ex with this and you decided you really like home improvement.
Yeah, I got into it. I got immersed into it. I like fashion, but home decor is very fashion. So choosing your kitchen, choosing the right paint, Pantone color, right, for your kitchen, your backsplash, your countertops, it is very much still fashion focused. I know that it's just, it's the renovation, you're doing the installation, it's a lot of hard work and, but at the end of the day, it's about how your kitchen's going to look in your home. Yeah. And it's about a style factor and function, right?
Right.
As well.
So your clients then are companies that are selling kitchen cabinets or renovations and so on. And you're trying to help them.
Yes.
Right?
I'm trying to help them. There's a lot of companies in the construction industry. The construction industry hasn't really gotten into social media yet. Right. It's a really big miss. Because there's so many other clients. You got to be where your clients are, right? Yeah. And their clients are on social media. They're on Instagram looking for Insta kitchen inspiration hashtag. They're on Pinterest. Pinterest is a gold mine. We were able to the Pinterest account that we had. I was able to grow it $100,000 viewers in 3 weeks. Amazing. So, but then I was pinning mostly for me, not really the clients. I was like, oh, these are the kitchens that I would like, and but then you get really creative and do all this. It's amazing. Pinterest is amazing. I never knew, to be honest with you, did not know that Pinterest would be a great outlet for a construction kitchen cabinet company.
Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah.
So,
I mean, I always thought of Pinterest. I haven't spent much time at all on Pinterest, but I always thought it was very, it was something that more feminine people like to look at and browse beautiful photos. But I see the connection there. Like if a guy is out on a construction site swinging a hammer, he's not really thinking of Pinterest, but his customers are.
And it's really interesting, actually, the statistics. In 2018, it's actually 60% females, 40% male on Pinterest. Like a couple of years ago, it was like 90% female, 10% male. So it's really interesting to see that more males are becoming on there as well, so.
What do you think is the fastest growing platform when it comes to this type of marketing?
For home improvement?
Yeah.
Pinterest and Instagram.
Okay. And what is the functional difference between the two for people who don't know? Because
functional difference, yes.
A lot. So what's the difference? Like,
Instagram is like your magazine and then your stories, and so you can post post things in the moment so that people can be a part of whatever it is you're posting in your company for Instagram.
Instagram, okay.
Pinterest is a visual thing as well, but it's actually it's like, I don't know, you go and click on the pin and now you can see these recipes. So, kitchen cabinets. You're going to want to share new recipes for this, their new kitchen. You're going to want to share a new painting. You're going to share the latest model for this, I don't know, baker thing. I don't know. I don't cook, so right. I don't know. I don't fail at that, but yeah.
So it's just organized differently.
Just organized very differently. Pinterest, you can do the whole functions of the kitchen, and then you can do fun things for kids' birthdays, because our target market has probably, they probably have kids, and, how are you going to have, bring kids into the kitchen and get them involved, and just activities or do-it-yourselfers. That's what Pinterest is. Mm-hmm. And then Instagram is like the visual inspiration. So you're going to post the L-shaped kitchen, the U-shaped kitchen, functionality versus whatever, the look, or all this, different kinds of tips and value to help the client decide what is the best design, best function, best color.
Yeah.
Inspiration for them. There's another thing called house. And are you still doing real estate?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
so
that's
real estate, are you on house?
That's with a couple of Zs.
Yes.
Okay.
House with a couple of Zs, yes.
No, I'm actually not. I know.
It's the home improvement, real estate industry. So there's like marketers on there.
Interesting.
It's for consumers, but it's also B2B. So like if, you're a contractor, you need to hire some trades, you can go on there and hire the trades, or a painting company.
Interesting.
And stuff like that. So I'm not sure what it would be like for real estate, but I mean, house is the Pinterest for the home improvement.
That's
real estate housing industry.
My company, we're doing new projects, so new construction. So it's kind of interesting.
Cool.
For example, Water Street, which is going to be the tallest building in Kelowna.
Yes.
That's going up. So we're doing this, helping with the sales for that. We've got a bunch of new projects coming up.
Amazing.
So it's interesting. A lot of the marketing does kind of strike me as similar. It's like the lifestyle and the aesthetic, and here's your kitchen, and here's the common space, and a lot of photography, a lot of storytelling in the marketing. So I should definitely check those out.
Yes. And house I would say is more collaboration with your clients, because you get to do these idea books with them, and then collaborate on like what their design is, instead of having to keep meeting and sending emails back and forth. They can contribute photos, and then you contribute photos. And they comment.
And I know there's articles as well on house. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Cool. Very cool. So I think like a custom home builder should definitely be on house.
A custom home builder absolutely should be on house. Definitely.
Because a lot of times, I know I've been in construction before, and a lot of times we have a kind of a vague idea, right, of what we want. I want an open concept kitchen.
Yes.
I really like neutral colors because I have bright, vivid artwork and fresh flower arrangements. So I want the kitchen itself to be kind of neutral, but beautiful and elegant and clean lines. But I don't know, the measurements and exactly how big it's going to be or what materials, right? So we need to start collecting ideas. It's a construction, real estate is really fascinating to me. It always has been. You look at any beautiful structure. It started off as a piece of dirt and a concept in someone's head. And how many humans have to come together, right? The architect, the designer, the contractor, the painter, the plumber, the electrician, the end consumer. So many people had to come together to build this amazing thing. But it starts as a piece of dirt and an idea. And
then drawn on paper, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And then how do you, it's
and then you
amazing.
fill in details, as you go on. So, yeah, it's pretty cool. It's great. We can talk about that for hours.
I know, we could.
Tell us about your company name, Brandstigator.
It's a
great name. How did you come up with it?
I came up with it in 2017. I just was with a friend. She just set up her new store in Sydney, BC, there, a consignment shop. And she's like, let's go investigate the competition around Sydney or whatever. And I was like, yeah, let's go Brandstigate, and I was like, yeah, brand investigation. Let's do that, and
perfect.
I thought we both laughed at it, and that's such a good idea. This would be a good name for a business name. We're like, yeah, and then just left it at that because I was doing something else. And then I went to my former partner and be like, I have this idea about this like brand investigator, if someone wanted to do digital marketing, and go and investigate the competition, investigate, your brand and all that stuff, then it'd be really brilliant. And he's like, that's a great idea. You should do that. I'm like, I don't have time for this. I am doing way too much other stuff. Maybe. And he's like, well, just go get the Twitter, the Facebook name and all that stuff. So I did. In 2017, I got the Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Brandstigator name. And then I didn't do anything with it. And then till when I moved to Kelowna, and then I, started getting into digital marketing again. I did take a break from it for 6 months. And when I announced on Facebook that I'm doing digital marketing, I had all these people who were like, oh my God, I need you. I want to hire you. And I was like, oh my God, okay, clearly this is where I need to go. And then I found this cute little character online, like little investigator. And then I was like, oh, he looks really like creepy actually, maybe. So maybe I should get rid of this little creepy character. And then,
So it evolved from there. So how do people, if people want to learn more about your services and your philosophy, what's the best way for people to find you? Is it Pinterest or Instagram? Or?
I'm definitely not on Pinterest, as my target market is not on social media. Their employees are. I should be in paper. But in print, you know what I mean? Construction companies, they don't have time to go online. They're not looking. But but if you do want to find me and have some fun social media tips and tricks or any questions online, Instagram.com/Brandstigator.
Okay.
BRANDSTIGATOR. Instead of investigator, Brandstigator. And then on Facebook, same thing, Facebook.com/Brandstigator. And I'm on Twitter, Twitter.com/Brandstigator.
Nice.
So
we will put links in the show notes, which is great. Because if you're on the treadmill, you don't want to stop and write something down.
Oh my God.
Just tap on the link.
The worst.
It'll take you straight to your page.
Okay, perfect.
Which is great.
Awesome.
Awesome. So, Sarah, who would you like to nominate to come on the show?
I would love to nominate Regina Luang, I think I said. Regina Luang.
Okay.
And she has a company here. She actually does Reiki and massage therapy and everything like that. She is the kindest, most beautiful soul I have ever met here in Kelowna. And
so she'll tell us about Reiki and things like that.
Yes, and spirituality. She's very spiritual.
Wonderful.
Her company is Holistic Therapy and Intuitive Counseling.
Wonderful.
Yes.
I really appreciate that. Quite often, there's nothing wrong with it, but quite often, if I'm talking to somebody about marketing, they're going to nominate someone in their field.
Oh, cool.
And we didn't talk about Reiki at all. And this is really great. This is, how we're expanding the show and broadening the reach because we've got so many diverse people and topics. It's wonderful.
Awesome.
So I really appreciate that nomination. And I appreciate you letting me pick your brain a little bit about social media marketing and real estate and everything else.
Anytime. Thank you for having me.
Very well.
Appreciate it.
Cheers.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of the Newtown Big Dreams podcast with your host, Luke Menkes, and his authentic guests. And we love our listeners and hope you subscribe now to learn more about the amazing journeys of our incredible guests who relocated to find a new town, big dreams. And remember, make your dreams big.